Welcome to the Wednesday weekly team prosperity meeting. We're going to get into the first stage of your business model today. And really what we're going to do is kind of break that down. And that's marketing. Before we get there, though, I just want to go through a couple of things. Like I said, we are, into summer now. So you have to realize, and we've been talking about this for the last several weeks, is you have no control on what other people are doing. You control what you do. So activity, intention, power through the summer. The more you can do now, you have an immediate impact on your business, but you also build that pipeline. So as people are coming back, late August, early September, kind of like on that restart, you're ready to roll. You've got things to do. And that, guys, you can get more done from late October or late August to around Thanksgiving. You can get a whole year's worth of work done. So just understand where we are, what's coming up, and position yourself accordingly. Couple things before we get into our topic today. Remember, as you are doing anything, you're going to have a learning curve. It doesn't matter what you do. If you try a new sport, play a game, it doesn't matter. There's going to be a learning curve. So if you think that you're going to be good at everything the moment you try it, it's unreasonable and unrealistic. And you have to understand that as you start to realize that, hey, this is going to be harder, I've got to do more stuff on personal development, I got to get this in place, you're going to naturally get to this valley of despair. And at that point, you've got a decision to make. Are you going to fight through it to see the other side and get the success that you expected? Or are you going to fall into that trap that so many people do when things get a little bit tough and I have to, really learn things, implement things, do better at what I do on a constant basis to improve to get me there. A lot of people will quit down here. I give up. And what happens? They go right back up and they start something new. They get back to the same point. What are they going to do? Well, they quit last time. It becomes easier to quit as we go forward. They'll always be in this continuous cycle right here. So understand from a management perspective, you have to help people fight through this area, because once they fight through it, it's clean sailing on the other side. Another thing that you guys need to understand is while you're getting better at what you do, part of it is repetition. If you're not going to do the things that you do every day to get better, you're not going to get better. You can't skip the whole process. So your worst phone call that you ever are going to make is going to trump and be better than that no phone call that you made. So the only way and the only reason that you get better at things is by continuous to do them. So get out there, talk about your business, open conversations, feel more comfortable over time. Those language patterns will develop. You'll feel confident and you'll start organizing people into what you need them to be, with the main crux of that front part being disqualification. All right, last week, you guys, we talked about blueprint for success. There are both general and specific things you need to be aware of and implement into your business to create blueprint for success. So what do I need to do? What do I need to understand? And how should I proceed on a daily basis if I'm going to win and come out on top for myself and my clients? Remember, we're talking about different groups of people. This is a win-win-win when you're talking about yourself, your partners, your clients. So the blueprint for success, if you rewind that to it all starts with you. So the things that you do on a daily basis are going to make or break your business. So marketing, like I said, we talked about the 4 stages of the business model a couple of weeks ago. We want to dive down into the first one today, which is marketing. Remember, marketing is the lifeblood of your business. If there's no marketing going on, there's no lead generation, there is no business. When you look at marketing, it's a very, very easy equation to understand. And when you look at, turning leads into prospects into customers, you have to understand that, what are my sources, my marketing sources? So if you go out and say, I don't know where my leads come from, that's the first problem you have to overcome. You have to design something where the sources of your marketing, the expectations of those sources, meaning, hey, these sources are out here. I expect them on a daily, weekly, or monthly basis to generate, X in traffic or conversions. So you have the expectations and then you actually have the result. So what's happening? If something's working well, you don't change it. You just continue to work it until it becomes stale and you need to change it. If something is not working well, don't change everything at one time. Change small things and beta test it. Also, remember, give your things 90 days. If you start something new, give it 90 days, because that whole process is going to give you data. If you start changing things before you really even know, any of the data, that becomes problematic because now we're just guessing. We're just throwing stuff out there to see what happens. So I've got marketing sources. I've got the expectations of what those sources are supposed to return to me. And then I've got the actual, day-to-day, week-to-week results. Part of marketing is understanding that you're in business for yourself. No one's paying us a W-2 wage to sit around, and whether we accomplish or not accomplish something today, we're getting paid. That's trading our time for money. We're not in that quadrant. We're self-employed. We're business owners. You need to think like a business owner. And that means always thinking about, how do I make my business better for myself, my partners, and my clients? If you are not thinking about your business periodically and having these thoughts come up, then you're really not, the business is not really a priority for your life. And if your business is not a priority, it becomes a hobby. And then the hobby pays little to nothing. And most people are going to quit a hobby over a small period of time. So remember, marketing and networking, we talked about this a little bit last week. Part of being a business owner and part of marketing your business is just learning how to talk to other people. Networking. Hey, what do you do? How's it going? Showing interest in other people is going to build interest in what you do. And then you insert yourself in the conversation at the right point. If I can help you do this, this, or this is what I do from my side. Does it make sense to continue the conversation? But just learn how to ask questions, get people's opinions, see what they do. Networking is one of the greatest ways that a business owner can go out there and build relationships, because it's not always about a potential partner or a client. Might be a vendor relationship, might be some type of connection over to something else that you need. But get in the habit of talking about yourself, your brand, your business, and like we talked about last week in the blueprint, why is it that you do what you do? Another part of marketing is understanding, as a business owner, what you have to do and what you don't have to do. We call this the office relocation. So we don't have to go out and get a physical office. We don't have to go and drive around to see our clients. We don't have to go out and have dry cleaning expenses, lunch expenses that would be associated with being on the road or in the office. So you guys have to understand, there's a lot of money that's not spent in the typical traditional physical type of business. So what you have to understand is you can't just gloss over that fact. You have to understand, you have to appreciate it, and then you have to get disciplined into making sure that that office relocation costs that aren't there anymore are invested into your business. Now, you don't just throw money at your business. That's the worst thing you can possibly do. So you're going to have to learn or ask questions or follow somebody else's lead of what's working. But the money that's not invested or not spent on the expenses of an office, relocated into your business into digital marketing, leads, automation to grow your business, has a compounding effect, right? It's not just about spending money and have it watch it, go away. It's about the fact that you have money now that's not being spent in typical expenses that you're investing into your business, and those expenses that you don't have that are invested into your business, they're invested in a right way where you're getting a solid return on your investment. Then what's happening? The lack of expenses being invested into your business is building and growing and scaling your business. And you can teach other people to do that. It's just like we teach our clients, you guys, it's a disciplined mathematical equation to get what you want. And that really starts, like we always talk about, with not just blindly going out there and throwing money at something, but taking a little bit of time to study your business, study marketing, ask us questions, and some of the things that you don't want to fall into, is, like I said, no big upfront contracts or fees or anything like that. If somebody's confident in what they have to offer you that can help your business, they should be confident enough for you to get a test drive or, not have to sign some long contract. When you're learning about things, you want to learn about digital marketing assets. You want to learn about lead generation. You want to learn about content management. You want to learn about how do I best position myself as a brand in the persona of who I'm trying to get in front of with the right message. So we've got a ton of stuff that we can do for lead generation from our side. We've got organic ways, we've got paid advertising. So we've trailblazed a path for you. So if you guys need access to that side of the business, we have it. We have a couple of requirements that we set up to make sure that we're letting in the right people that are going to give it a go and a run. Because like we talk about, 90 days, you have to give something 90 days before you can really make a decision about this is working or it's not working. And realistically, marketing as a business owner in our business comes down to two things, in my opinion: understanding what my market is, who my market is, and then understanding what my message is to that market. Once you start to identify your market and your message, it's a repetition on a daily basis of the same types of people, the same types of conversations, and really the same types of issues, problems, and solutions that you're bringing to those conversations. So you got to pick your niche. You got to find a niche. You got to pick that niche and dominate it, because if you're having random conversations with random people every single day, it's tiring. It's not repetition. It's not direct, and it doesn't have much intention behind it. And it's tired. And like I said, it's really working hard versus working smart. If I'm talking to the same types of people, with the same types of language, verbiage, messages, etc., that repetition starts to build up. And I feel more confident that when I go into that persona with my message, I'm talking to the right people, and I preemptively at that point can start really understanding what are their problems and how do I, like I said, preemptively help them overcome those early on in the conversation. So target specific types of people to create a quality audience. That's one of the easiest ways that you can learn how to market, is get dialed into a persona and understand you have to be defined in your approach. The more defined you can be in your approach, the easier it is to build this. The more random you are in your approach, the harder it is to build this. The leads that you have coming in your front door, virtual front door, however you want to look at it, should be people that, want to help themselves, that you can help, that fall into your persona. If you're selling in a physical location, jewelry, you want people coming through the front door who are interested in buying jewelry. Same thing here. You don't want a bunch of people just coming through your front door for the sake of having traffic. You want the right traffic, those people that you can help, fall into the persona, want to help themselves, all the things that we talk about. And then you need to understand, once you have a persona and once you have a marketing message, you need to understand what your audience, what your persona is all about. You need to know them probably better than they know themselves. What does that mean? Well, the demographics in terms of where they are or who they are, geographic, where they are, psychographic, how they think, and behavioral, how they act. Once you start to understand these things about your persona, you go out there and you're getting messages that actually resonate with them, and they're raising their hand and say, yes, I want more information about this. Yes, I would like to talk to you about that. Part of understanding your market, part of understanding your persona is understanding the generations. Remember, these people, baby boomers, Gen X, and millennials, they're the same, but they're very, very different. Yeah, they're all people of this country, but baby boomers, they were born during a certain time. Certain events happen. They have certain views of the way the world is. Same thing with Gen X and millennials. Same thing with the problems. Baby boomers, Gen X, and millennials have different problems based on where they are in the life cycle. You can't come to all three of these generations with the same type of message and expect anything to happen. Talk to somebody as a millennial. Talk to somebody as a Gen X. Talk to somebody as a baby boomer. Identify who you're talking to on the front end and give them messages that are specific to problems that you are pretty sure they're facing. There's going to be, in the disruption that we bring to the marketplace on the client and the partner side, there's going to be a value creation. But what you have to understand is that value creation is going to be different for everybody. So if I'm talking to a bunch of different random people, there's going to be different value points. If I'm talking to the same types of people, that disruption is going to create the same types of value for those same types of people, which once again makes my conversations easier and more repetitive. So when you're looking at a basic, debt to wealth conversion, well, think about when you're going out in the marketplace, and think about when you're taking that value from the disruption, what's the value for somebody converting debt to wealth? Well, it's going to be different for a lot of different types of people. And going back to our generations, for baby boomers, it's probably either A, being able to get to retirement, or meet a standard of living in retirement. For Gen X, it's getting ready for retirement. For the millennials, to avoid the pitfalls of the generations before them. So it's different messages, but it's the same type of equation. We're always doing the same types of things. It just, what is the relative value to the other side that we're producing? You have to learn how to marketing to start the conversation. And one of the easiest ways that you can start conversations, ask questions, get opinions, get some feedback from people, because they love to talk. People love to give you their opinions, feedback. They will talk. And when they start to talk, you can raise awareness about what it is that you actually do. So, higher, inflation, higher interest rates, a cratering stock market, all of these things that are in the news, definitely topics that are newsworthy right now. If you ask for people's opinions about these things, it gets the conversation started, and you can raise awareness about what you do, financial wellness, financial literacy, how money works, all of these things. You need to stop selling people. People don't want to be sold. People want to know that you're on their team, that you understand how to help them, that you're the right person to help them. Remember, we talked about a statistic one time. It was a sky high statistic, maybe 80+% of people didn't buy from a salesperson because they felt like the salesperson didn't do enough on the front side to get to know them and their problem, their issue well enough to solve it. So by interviewing people, you're getting the information, you're letting them talk. That shows interest in, trying to help them. And then what happens when you interview people? They give you information, you guys, and that information allows you to uncover a problem that leads to a solution that you now can open up to them. And that leads to an action step. We are obsessed with taking next action steps. We never leave that just out to be determined later. We're always leading to the next action step. And this is a pyramid about how to increase your pipeline. And once you understand how to master this pyramid, it becomes a lot easier in talking to people, interviewing people, and then offering solutions to people that actually make sense based on what they're talking about. The warm market can be, a great place, but it can also be a really tough place, because warm market means that these people have relationships with you. They have certain ways they look at you depending on how long they've known you for. But one of the best ways to market in the warm market is to lead with the mission. It's very important to let most of your markets know about your mission, but especially your warm market. Hey, this is what I'm doing. This is why I'm doing it. And at that point, you can invite help from their side. Hey, would you check this out? Would you go through this and let me practice? The mission part of the warm market is very, very important, because people don't want to be, once again, sold, especially by somebody they know, but they are willing to help you if you ask for help. So see that slight inverse in the way that you have your language on the front end. Hey, can I ask for your help? I just started this. I'm not sure if this sounds good. People in your warm market will love to help you out if you ask for it and if they understand what you're trying to do and buy into it. And remember, that's your why. So why does your organization do what it does? But also inside that warm market, why are you doing this? Because once the other people who have existing relationships with you understand why it is that you're trying to do what you do, and it makes sense to them, you're trying to help people, they'll be glad to help you. And then once you get outside that warm market, the warm market is not something that ends with a list that you make up at the beginning. It's a walk of life kind of things. As you come across people, in your warm market, as you go forward, the warm market is a continuation. But once you get, quote unquote, outside the warm market, when you look at other markets, social media, common market, cold market, yes, you still want to let people know why it is that we do what we do. Why is it that you're doing what you do? But now you have to come with value-based propositions in here to make sure that you establish like a power position in the conversation. If you're leading with value, it's a non-threatening conversation, and you're going to be able to create more lead generation. And it doesn't matter if your personal contact, live or online events or referrals, you're doing the same type of thing. You're getting in front of people, value propositions to make sure they understand, this is what we do. This is why we do it. This is why it's important. And this is how we can help you with what? Further free value-based propositions. That's going to help you front load your business. And whether I'm talking to somebody in person or online, I'm trying to drive traffic. And I'm trying to drive traffic so I can understand my statistics in terms of my flow of my traffic. And then from that, I get all the other conversions I'm looking for. How many people are opting in for my free guides? How many are booking those free education meetings? Because it's easier to build a business when you make data-driven decisions over emotional ones, So understand that what we're trying to put in place is only going to allow you and your agents to understand and make those type of decisions. So look, check it out. That's what we're asking people to do. Hey, if you've got this, if you're looking to understand, if you want to do this, if you're trying to get here in your life, we've got stuff, guides, free education. Check it out. This is what we do. Create excitement about what you do. Marketing is about emotion. Remember, facts tell, stories sell. So create excitement, understand who you're talking to. Don't put it in bland financial jargon or language. Learn to be excited about what you do, but also learn how to relate the information over in a way that makes sense for people. It's information, and that's all it is. And what does information do? Well, like I said, on the front side, as we're getting information from the other side, it allows us to uncover problems that we have solutions and action steps for. From our side, information is given to the other side to allow them to change their mindset, open up new mindsets, and start to make some alternative action decisions and steps that include buying decisions for some of the tools, products, and the services that we sell. It's free stuff on the front side. If we can't give away free stuff on the front side, we probably need to find something else to do. It's one of the easiest, like I said, most non-threatening positions of power that you can be in, is identifying somebody as a persona that you want to help, and then leading with free stuff. It's pretty easy, guys. And that creates the opt-in. The opt-in is the gateway to your digital factory. We talked about this before. And then inside the factory, we've created some things to help you out. Automated campaigns, automated triggers. And once again, we talked about this. Automation is great, definitely should be a part of your business, but you have to have high tech and high touch. A bunch of stale automation over time, or a bunch of automation over time becomes stale. So you want to make sure that you have a combination of the automation with the manual touch. And then you need a follow-up strategy. And the follow-up strategy is designed to just make sure and monitor your factory, your pipeline. If somebody's a new lead, if somebody's a survey completion, a book meeting, you want to make sure that you are monitoring that pipeline, following up to resolve things, push things down into the next category, but make sure that things don't pile up. And once again, have somebody just stuck in days or weeks of automation with no personal touch. You got to connect the digital side with the personal side. And the combination of both helps people understand, once again, a little bit more about who you are, what you do, why you do it, how you can help them. This is the end result for us. We know that if we get booked online education meetings, everything else comes from that. Our revenue, our income, our client, our partner growth. If we don't have enough of these, we don't have enough revenue and income. If we don't have enough revenue and income, our book meetings, that just comes back, and we can trace that back to different parts of our marketing pipeline. Are we not having enough conversations? Are we not having enough guides given out for the opt-ins? What is it? And it's easier to identify and solve problems when you can see it right there versus just having to guess, well, what is exactly that I do? What could be going wrong? Versus this is the pipeline. This is our expected statistics about your conversions. If you're falling below that, then you just need to do one or variable things to get back up there. We know when you get to the average conversion rates in the pipeline, everything else works out for itself. And then when you're in the meetings, guys, you're still kind of marketing, you're still kind of discovering with people, and you just really want to help them understand, where are they now? Where is it they're trying to go? What is it they want to accomplish? How are they going to get there? What are they willing to do to get there? And then more importantly, if you do, how do you fit into that plan? How are you going to help them? Because at the end of the day, it's a commitment from your side. It's a commitment from their side. You're going to help them, but it's a commitment on both sides. And then also marketing and everything that you do, you are the brand. You're not leading with a product. You're not leading with a service. You're leading with some free guides and education, but essentially you are the brand. So you have to develop your brand, live your brand. And like I said, learn how to tell stories, learn how to incorporate your personality into this. And like I said, as you're doing that, building the brand, understand where your brand lies with certain types of people. It may have a positive, impact on certain types of persona. You want to be around, and you want to develop a business around people that, are like you, that you want to be around, that are getting your message. It's a lot easier to do that as you develop a brand, to see who's attracted to that brand. And then that goes really back to, how do you see your purpose? You know, if you see your purpose as serving people, helping people, you're on a mission to change the financial landscape of this country, well, then it's a lot easier to go out there and have that purpose as an educator. And we are a smart technology company. We lead with data-driven education that helps solve big problems this country's having. And don't forget, if you're bringing solutions to the marketplace that make sense, we talked about this in the blueprint of success. If you do your job, you got to get down and ask for the sale, because if it makes sense and you can help the people, you should feel like you're doing a disservice to them for not getting them using this program, not getting them to their financial goals. Like I said, everything that we do is not about selling products, but educating people into buying decisions. When somebody's excited about the future, excited about working with you, excited about working this program, you've done a great job as a marketer and as an educator. Your online marketing, it's a learning curve. So you have a development strategy. What's your vision? How do you want to appear online? What's that personal development strategy? You know, what's your branding and your marketing strategy based around that vision? You know, what's your monetization strategy? We've got that. We understand how we're going to monetize. Your job is to build a brand that you're proud of and attracts the right type of people. And then, you know, what are you putting out there in terms of content creation, your marketing strategy? What are you doing to encourage engagement from the outside community? And then most importantly, how are we driving traffic? Traffic, is going to create the opportunity for opt-ins. Opt-in create leads, leads create meetings. So understand what you're doing, and this whole thing is not going to be a weekend deal. It's going to be something you start to work on. You're going to put days and weeks and months into this, and then one day you're going to see down the road, you've been doing this for a few months, things starting to develop. People are starting to contact you. People are asking questions, sending you messages. And then from there, you just have to understand that social media is a giant opportunity for what we do. So the combination of social media and prospecting online with your personal brand and your message, and then once you've mastered 1 and 2, 3 is just like throwing fuel on the fire, adding velocity to both grow and scale your business. This is what you're doing on an online marketing basis every single day. If you fail at one of these points, then your whole structure is going to take, negative consequences from this. So you need to understand that when you build an audience, that's a daily event. When you engage an audience, that's a daily event. When you sell an audience, that's a periodic event. Not everybody's going to be ready at the same time to go to next action steps, but the continuation of building your audience, engaging your audience, and then selling your audience at the right time, over time, this is going to build a huge audience with engagement that creates outcomes. Alignment plus engagement. If I'm in front of the right types of people, that I've developed a persona with the right types of messages that are getting the engagement that I'm looking for, everything else is going to take care of itself. Consistency is the key. You're not going to be good at this stuff in the beginning, but as long as you're willing to go forward, make progress, learn, study, implement, fail, try some other stuff, the consistency and the grit of seeing this through over X period of time, a number of months, you'll get past the learning curve. And one of the greatest ways to get past a learning curve is to mimic and study the people who are doing this right. Remember, 90 days is really what you need to give something before you throw your hands up and say that it either doesn't work or congratulate yourself that it does work. Over time, we talked about this last week in the Blueprint for Success. In the beginning, you're probably going to have to manufacture some outbound interest for what you do. But over time, by creating a brand, an online marketing presence, digital presence, social media presence, all the things that we're looking for, and by doing those necessary build, engage the audience on a daily basis, you're going to create some inbound marketing. Now those people have already been, they've already seen something on the front end. They have general interest and they want to talk to you for either more information, they have questions, whatever it might be. Inbound marketing is where you want to take your organization over time. And then along the way is anything that you can do to help your business out the virtual triggers that we put in, automation that we adapt is like having employees. The more kind of virtual assistance and automation that you have for your business, it frees up time for you, and those things that the automation can't do, those income producing activities, the fact that you need to go out there and have a personal connection with people, the automation can't do. Well, now you freed up your time to do that. Be systematic. Remember, this is one of the most important things. If you're going to build nationwide distribution, if you're going to build agencies, in your marketing, you got to be systematic. What you do has to be something that somebody else can do as well. And then you've got to start. So remember, just not knowing what to do is just a veiled excuse for procrastination. Get out there, trip over yourself, get the rocks out of your mouth, but just begin the journey so that you can start the process. And then start to set goals, whether it's contacts, whether it's communication, whatever it is. The results on the front end, it's hard to set a results-oriented goal when you're just starting. So you want to kind of get an activity goal, something that that can fall on your shoulders 100%, that you can get to or not get to, depending on your level of intention and activity going into any time period, whether that's a day or a week. As you get further along and how to recognize the revenue and income, that can be a goal. But in the beginning, put it on something that you control 100%. And then stay committed, stay determined, stay focused, you guys. Not every day is going to be good. Not every week's going to be good. Not every month's going to be good. Don't get too high. Don't get too low about your business. Keep an even keel, understanding you're making progress. We'll continue to keep doing this stuff week after week after week to help you guys, build, grow, scale your business, either on a book level or an agency level.